Yes. How are you involved, Russ?
Pardon?
How did you come to be involved?
I am the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Facilities.
Oh, fabulous.
Andy reached out to me when the Kiwanis came up with the idea about the tree, and we discussed some options. And it just so happened that we were going to be removing a tree here that was dying, and so this was a perfect location to put something in the downtown to honor Jack.
Oh, how
And
fabulous.
Jack was the chairman of the committee that was the oversight committee for the renovation of Glover Park in 1986. So it seemed particularly fitting to me that there'd be a tree here for him since he led that initiative.
Thank you. How meaningful. And we have the Kiwanis president, Andy, and local legendary artiste, Frank Mims. Yes. So how are you today?
Great.
Ready for the ceremony?
We are.
Great. And what does Jack Wilson mean to you?
What a legend. What a legend for this Cobb County. Sweet, sweet man. We're missing. I was glad I got to know him through Kiwanis. That's it.
Yes.
Me, Jack, I did not interact with him as I was a relatively newcomer to the club compared to Jack's long number of years in the club. But to me, he is exemplified by this tree behind us. He is a tall tree in the community.
Certainly.
Impacted so many. We're looking forward to honoring him today.
Thank you. Yes, I may say that growing up in Cobb County and having participated in Cobb Youth Leadership,
Yep.
and hearing that he was the founder of these movements.
Leadership Cobb, Honorary
Yes.
Commanders, so many other parts of Cobb counties.
Yes, so I really feel thankful for his legacy as well.
Much so.
Yes.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you much.
Talking? Yes, you know the move. No, I don't. Yes, you do. What am I supposed to talk about?
Yes. So here we are with Jack Wilson's grandchildren. And we have been discussing what a legacy he has left for the community. But what about for your family? What kind of legacy has your Pop left for you?
I think he very much instilled in us hard work and dedication, and giving back to your community is paramount to success in your life. So he was a very big figure to us, I think.
Yes. And to travel.
Yes,
Always travel.
definitely the travel. You can know that.
Well,
Oh,
he gave us the travel bug. Sure.
great. So what are some of your favorite places to explore?
My wife and I went to Greece for our honeymoon, and that was influenced by him very heavily. So that was great.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Yes, and where's your go-to place?
Anywhere warm with a beach.
Exactly.
Here, here. Yes. And we have Lisa Lawrence. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Jack says, well, I'll put that down. Okay. Oh, I love it. Fortitude. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, on video, we're doing an oral history project. So I understand you were the nurse with Mr. Jack Wilson.
I was his caregiver. I lived with him for 5 years. And we went all sorts of places together. We came to the Strand. We went out for drives, for ice cream or whatnot.
How fun. And what is your name?
My name is Nicole.
Nicole. Thank you, Nicole. And what about Jack Wilson impressed you most?
His kindness, his gentle demeanor. He's just so sweet, easy to love.
Oh. Well, thank you for your service to care for him and to let him enjoy all these wonderful places that he helped encourage to thrive.
It was my honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been buddies for 60 years, and I sponsored him for Kiwanis in 1987. And got him into the Business and Public Affairs Committee, which we served on for many years. And we sat at the same table for many years at the Kiwanis meeting. But he was instrumental in starting the Honorary Commanders, and I was in one of the first classes of Honorary Commanders way back when he and Walt Kelly Jr., Sam's father, got that going. But Jack and I go back a long way. He actually came to my house when I was in college to appraise it because my family was moving to Canada for my dad to be head of Lockheed Aircraft of Canada. So
Amazing.
lots changed.
Right.
But we miss Jack. He was a good buddy.
Oh, thank you. And
You're
thank you for inviting him to the Kiwanis Club of Marietta.
Wouldn't have had it any other way. I worked on him for a long time to get him to join. So,
Oh, wow.
but he loved it. That was his big thing once he joined. So,
Yes. Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
We're here with Kay Morgan. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent.
Good.
So we are so happy to be here to honor Jack Wilson. And so what does his legacy mean to you?
His legacy means just a heart of service, a spirit for giving, and for making things better for everyone. He's just a fabulous man. He could not have done more for this community. And you keep hearing all these anecdotes. Not only was he great in the community, he was funny. He just loved to have fun. The man he loved sunshine at Kiwanis. Not always the, conservative ones either. But he was just a really, really good guy, and he's left a legacy in his family. His family's we miss him every week. We miss him. He had he sat at the old man's table along with a couple of other guys, and the old man's table was sacred. If you got an invite to sit at the old man's table, you took it. It was special. So that's how I remember him.
That is so
Very
fun.
fondly, very
Oh,
fondly.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, they've got all that blocked up to do undergraduate school. Well, that's part of it. Because yesterday was
Good morning, Ernie.
Good morning.
Good day. Yeah, so I'm doing an oral history project and to commemorate. So what does Jack Wilson's legacy mean to you?
Well, Jack Wilson was selected by my father to be the lead person to raise money to redo the Glover Park. It was tired in 1980, was in very much disrepair. There was an anonymous donor who put up $250,000, or maybe it was $500,000, and he said, "I will donate if the community will match it." And so Jack was put in charge to leading to get money to match it, and they didn't match it, and now you see That there, all
Oh my
this is in
goodness.
1980, around 1984.
Yes, amazing.
History there.
That is, thank you. Well, I grew up here and coming here to the square as a child, always. I'm so thankful for your dad and Jack Wilson's. Yeah.
My dad was just the mayor. Dad
Oh, was he?
the mayor at the time.
Oh, how neat. Wow, Mayor Flournoy. Wow.
As a matter of fact, oh, there's Joseph. Joseph, you're on candid camera.
Yes, I'm making the oral history project.
Okay.
Yes.
Shelter for an institution, a group, or who's it for?
It's just
Interview her for Jack.
yes. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Hello, Sally. I'm taking a video.
Oh,
Yes, we're doing an oral history project.
oh,
So, can you tell me what does Jack Wilson's legacy mean to you?
oh my God, I love Jack Wilson. He was so instrumental in this community, and we loved his Kiwanis and his Kiwanians, and I loved that about him. So nice and thoughtful, and just a wonderful guy.
Thank you. And Frank, you said earlier, but how do you feel about the turnout
Oh,
today?
this is wonderful. I feel so good for Laura,
Yes, that's his daughter.
his family. Yeah, he's it's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, time to sit down. Let's make space. And you are a dear friend of Jack Wilson.
Yes, Martina Gosha, and I've known Jack for years. I met him through Leadership Cobb, first of all, and then I became friends with he and Teddy, and we all played mahjong together, and I taught Teddy and Jack how to play mahjong, and then got them to take a course at Kennesaw called Great Books, and we all enjoyed reading the classics together, and just enjoyed Dr. Williams very much. So Jack is just a real special person, and he's just done wonderful things for this community. So we're real honored that this celebration, the tree planting, is happening today. So.
Oh, thank you. And it sounds like you brought a lot of depth and richness to his life as well.
Well,
with
in
your
his
friendship.
last 3 or 4 years, he could not read, and so I would go over every Saturday afternoon and read to him for about an hour. So, yeah.
What a blessing.
Well,
Thank you.
he was a blessing to us too. So, yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Well,
That is so beautiful.
About this, things like these things in New England are what was people all saying? They got the whole part. The new members.
Andrea, what does the legacy of Jack Wilson mean to you?
Oh, I remember him fondly. We sat together at Kiwanis, and he laughed at my silly jokes. I liked him. I thought he was.
Oh, great. A good sense of humor. Thank you.
And I know the grieving never stops. I hope today will bring you joy and sunshine in the midst of your.
On this day, March 13th, 1929, Jack Elliott Wilson was born. A year later, the Kiwanis Club of Marietta was also born. The article in the Marietta Daily Journal in March of 2020, as the club was celebrating its 90th birthday, began by reminding the reader, on March 3rd, 1930, 25 Marietta business and professional citizens formally became the Kiwanis Club of Marietta. Those charter members were pillars of the community with familiar names like Fowler, Schilling, Dobbins, Ward, Atherton, and Ingram. Jackie Wilson's life followed a path leading to the intersection with Marietta Kiwanis. Jack Wilson grew into being one of these pillars of the community and a very tall pillar in Marietta Kiwanis. The strength of his character and his impact on this community is what brings us together today. Trees, such as this willow oak, with their roots in the earth and branches reaching for the sky, have long been revered as symbols of strength, resilience, wisdom, and prosperity. Jack Wilson's life symbolized these qualities and so many more. Please pray with me. Creator God, we gather in the center of Marietta to honor a pillar of this community. We gather to remember a person whose faith ran as deep as the roots of a century-old hardwood tree. A person whose arms spread wide to touch many and impact many thousands. Thank you for your servant, Jack Wilson. And thank you, dear God, for creating this tree, a fitting tribute to a pillar of Marietta and Cobb County. Please provide healthy growth that this tree will remain known as the Jack Wilson tree for all citizens to enjoy for many years to come. Amen.
Amen.
Now I'd like to have Lisa come back up and introduce our speaker.
When I talked to Laura about today, I talked to her about how this day should go. And I told her, I said, I think I'm asking, my first thought is Mayor Tumlin. She goes, absolutely, that's the one. I don't know that he needs any introduction. He is a 4-term mayor for the city of Marietta. And the most important thing you need to know today is he is the past president of the Kiwanis Club of Marietta and a lieutenant governor. So he is the one that would know all the accomplishments of Jack, all the wonderful things that he did for our community. So without further ado, Mayor Steve Thunder Tumlin.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for the reference to Kiwanis Club. Today not only celebrates Jack Wilson's life, but the Kiwanis Club. There's a lot of things that happened through this club. Members like Jack are what made this club so great. I started going to Kiwanis Club when I was in high school, and I served as president, as you mentioned, and so did my father and 2 uncles. So I know this club very, very well. I know its many accomplishments. And Jack is part of it. But if you look at just his resume on Inside Court, that is just a quick snapshot of what this man did for this city. And I like to quote, he's a child, he would have been a young man during the 60s. I like when Jack Kennedy gave his inauguration address in 1960, he was thinking about men like Jack Wilson, which was, ask not what your city can do for you, ask, and in Jack's case, and do what you can do for your city. And it goes further, his brother and also George March Shaw said, some men see things as they were and say why. Jack dreamed things that never were and said why not. It ended up, as you watched him volunteer, not only volunteer, live, created great things in this community. John Deere said, for whom the bell tolls, they told for Jack Wilson, and he answered that toll. I would like to say, who was Jack Wilson? He was the son of the Depression, a teen during World War II, which is just hard for me to imagine how they saw the world at that time. And then when he had his time, he served this country as a 2nd lieutenant in the Air Force. In a way, he helped pay for his education. He went to Georgia State and then went to probably Vanderbilt, which is a wonderful place, and then went to Emory Law School, mostly during the night because he worked during the day to support his family and the creative business. But I know years later, Emory, for accreditation purposes, they did away with their night law school, and I'm just thinking they obviously didn't know Jack Wilson. I mean, what he produced. But, I would like to say, just think, Marietta was a small community when he was here, when he moved in the 1946, led off to Marietta Square. And just look at who he competed with, J.F. Shaw, who was also a Kiwanis, who's a good friend of Jack, Worley and Shillings, Bedford and Cocker, A.D. Little, all those were, high quality folks, and the insurance business obviously attracted a lot of them. But Jack not only competed against them, he had his own niche, but they also found just great leadership in this community. I grew up down the street from where Laura was born, and the rest of the family, the home place. And the center of the universe was the corner of Walnut Drive and Kirkpatrick and Wood Valley, because, I talked to people that lived in Tallapoosa, that was the way, they turned on Kirkpatrick to get to Lockheed in the morning. So there was probably more cut-through traffic there than the people that worry about it now. But just to say, Whitlock Heights was a beautiful neighborhood, good folks. Most of them were very traditional homes, bricks, flush, but even Jack's house was different. They had the family room with all the glass on the front, exposed beams, a tongue and groove decking, swimming pool in the back, and then a big garden in the back. So you just knew that the Wilson household was a little bit special. But his business was that of the people. Just down here at the bottom of the hill, the building's no longer there, the insurance store. But look at his neighbors. It was a housing project, Clay Homes, the bus station, the Bebop Grill, the YMCA, a liquor store, the Q Club. So Jack obviously just knew his fellow man, and just when he looked up every morning, he could look also at the Cobb County Jail, which was right behind here. So they just had to just show, he didn't go to the Stoic place here on the square. He went where the real people were. So I will want to say, but how do you grow to be a leader? How do you grow to serve your community? He did like a lot of young businessmen. First, probably the most dynamic thing for people 30 and under were the JCs. And served the JCs well, then a Mason. But then the perfect fit came when he joined the Marietta Kiwanis Club. That's where his skills as a collaborator, servant, all came. And just, you could tell Jack was always surrounded by good friends. He grabbed Jack, let's just say Joe McWilton grabbed him, because he knew what he had. And then leaders like Mac Henderson, he always just hit the Brother Rogan, they wrote Chase the Bull. So, that was just part of his success. But I first knew him at the First Methodist Church. I was a young member on the board, and he directed our youth camp. Was probably the most dynamic youth program in the state. He did the youth camp, which had Presbyterian, Baptist, whoever would come to it. We also, when he was chairman, we got Charles Sineth, who was our pastor for 25 years from there, which Jack had a great hand in. But you also think, I don't know, we probably had musical talent like me, but like he bought the singing Christmas tree on the Reverend Mud to our church and served it for 15 or 16 years, and people, you couldn't even get a ticket to see that during the Christmas season. But I think the one that was most fun, there were still homes behind the Methodist Church from Hansel Street, Vampire Valley. that was amazing. It was so good. It raised, some people thought we were hand in hand with the devil at the Methodist Church. But they didn't mind when it raised all that money and people from miles around came. But like I say, his ability to work with people made things like that happen. But in 1973, he was Marietta Citizen of the Year. And, that was back in the days. To me, that's very, very special, because that came from his peers. The Citizen of the Year wasn't, Kiwanis won it yesterday. Congratulations to Holly. But in 1973, that was done at a joint meeting of Kiwanis and Rotary. I hate to say the Rotary word for this group, but without Rotary and Kiwanis, a lot of things wouldn't happen in Marietta. And Jack was a big part of it. But his peers selected him as Citizen of the Year in 1973. The time I did probably one of the most work with Jack, and it was fun to watch his hands. He was, in the late 70s, he was president of Cobb Marietta Youth Museum, which is probably one of the most creative things we've ever done in this city. It wasn't done with government funds. It was basically done, Junior League created it, and and it was growing in the late 70s with the oil embargo and all those type things. They were having trouble getting the Cobb County school system, Marietta school system supported. So they brought in 2 token males. Jack was the doer, and I was just the young kid on the block to do it. But that was fun. We did what the ladies of the junior league told us to do, but Jack helped them have the right direction. So, but he was a delight to work with. In fact, it was one of the best gators I ever had. Marietta never had any. You look at the beautiful restaurants we have downtown. The 1848 house was brand new. You know, Mr. Garrison just had moved from there, and man from Chicago came in and opened it. So we had a gala to introduce the restaurant, and it was packed. You could not get in the place, and Jack and I kind of put it on, but they put on the dog, and that was a beautiful place, the 1848 house. But I also want to mention also, you know, besides being an insurance man, he developed Dunley, which there was not that much new development back then. You know, Whitlock Heights was maturing, Peter Woods was maturing. And going out Powder Springs, he developed Dunley subdivision, which was a great asset to this community. Helped the southwest part of our town, and also, but ironically, another insurance man on the north side, A.D. Bill Smith was doing that. So it just shows what business leaders can do for exactly what you did. You turn that train down a little bit. Before the version, I tell one thing. I get the train go by when I'm speaking, and Martina Gosha was speaking at Jack's memorial service, the funeral. She had a call from heaven, so Martina, I don't think I can tell what she did. That was an interesting story.
That was great.
But I would like to, a couple other things on the field of flags. We're speaking of the youth museum years later, the business of public affairs, Casey, go to a different place. I was on it, Jackie and I wanted to have it at the youth museum, I guess, in the early, the 2000s. And so we had it out there, and 2 young men, Lynn Graham and Devin Seaball, came to the business of public affairs and had this crazy idea about the field of flags. And they said, oh, by the way, it'll probably take us $30,000 to do it. And I said, well, Flournoy here today, that 2 men stepped up, Jack Wilson and Judge Flournoy, and said, let's do it. You know, not only did they say, let's do it, they said, we'll help you raise the $30,000, or if nothing else, we'll sign a note. So that was a spontaneous of Jack. The collaboration, I want to mention, his work on the DMDA as the chairman, we would not have the conference center that we have out here in the Hilton. He was the chairman then, which was, I was talking to Philip about it, it was extremely creative. The city leased it to the DMDA, which Jack signed, please, and then the DMDA leased it back to the city. And then we have a thing called the intergovernmental agreement, which allowed the city to be a little entrepreneurial, but also but he was working with Joe Mack, the Galleria, and this state of Georgia was given the hotel motel tax, which has helped all communities. But all that happened at one time. I think it just shows Jack, in his way, was an awful big part of that. And it was just a key to like what came on. But speaking of the DMDA, on our church, Jack was on the DMDA. It was redevelopment bond, interest rates were 13%. First Methodist Church wanted to borrow $3 million. The interest rates were 13%. So the DMDA, with Jack being part of it, we expanded the boundaries where the church over here at Whitlock was brought into it, and we were brought into the DMDA's territory, and the church was able to borrow money for half a prime plus 1%. So, but it's just those little things that men of action do. And Jack was it. Oh, and by the way, 6 months later, the government figured out and churches can no longer borrow money through that program. But it just shows their vision and just, just some. But it was amazing. We borrowed, in fact, and then a sultan from Saudi Arabia bought First Bank and Trust. We borrowed money from Saudi Arabia at the time, so it was part of it. But it was. And the bank allowed us to have we took down all the money on the construction loan at 13% and invested it. While we were built, we could take draws down without canceling the CD. And we were borrowing at 7%, so we made money while we borrowed money. So that was, but Jack was a big part of it. But you just see, if I can read and as I look at the Strand, I know Strand's one of the things here. When Earl Smith was like Jack Wilson, he called a group. We were sitting over there in the old Coca-Cola building, and everybody's kind of talking and saying, I don't know if we can save the Strand. In the Jack Wilson way, in one sentence, he said, let's have a campaign and call it a Grand for the Strand. When Jack said it, it was over. That's what we did. So, he saw the benefit of many people giving. But like I say, in just one sentence, grand for the Strand, and Jack did it, and the rest is history, so to speak. But I do, just touching on things you'll hear over the next few hours, just a resume of Jack Wilson, which is phenomenal. But if somebody knew him as a neighbor, somebody that was privileged to work with him, I would have known him better at Kiwanis if I'd have been allowed to sit at the House of Lords. But I did not quite make that achievement. But I was at the planting of this tree, the memorial of this, the significance of this is, despite all the things Jack did, he did it probably succinctly, simply, and without wanting any notoriety. So this tree symbolizes what Jack did for us. It embraces the dreams of many. It will grow, and this benefit will benefit the city just like Jack Wilson did for perpetuity. So, Father, thank you for letting me salute in my small way. The grand wife of Jack Wilson, and in this beautiful way to memorialize him. But what's ironic, you don't realize, I wish I could have told them more what I thought of why you don't realize what they've done until they're not with us. And then his footprint is just everywhere to the Wilson family. Just God bless you, and just bless the Kiwanis Club that gave him the place to do that. Thank you very much.
There's a difference between the person who gives the speech and the person who gives the remarks. I'm giving the remarks. And Thunder, thank you for your comments. You've got a wealth of information in history about Jack. It says a lot about a community that it will take the time for people to gather to celebrate one of its great people who contributed to the community. And it speaks loudly for you, speaks loudly for the community, it speaks loudly for Jack that we're pausing here in celebration. There's a Greek proverb that a society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit. This can be interpreted as a reminder that the meaning of life is to plant trees, not sit under them. And oh, did Jack plant trees all through his life, not just in his later years, but the whole time that he was here in the community, and that we've been the beneficiaries of that. Whether it was in the Marietta Kiwanis Club, creating Leadership Cobb, service with the Marietta First United Methodist Church, Friends of the Strand, we're in the shadows of, and this very park that he said, why not? When the elm trees died, and there were thoughts about, well, let's just bulldoze the place and let's create more parking spaces. Isn't that great? Well, he said no. And so he spurred on the vision and the contributions that made this very park. So I think there's so much symmetry in the fact that he's going to have a tree that's here that will continue to grow. Jack was an encourager. He was a dreamer, an enabler, an organizer, an affirmer, a contributor. He was the personification of a leader, which is someone who influences other people to get the job done. And that's what he wants. And so you wonder, well, how was such a person created, and what is the background? And so I had a nice conversation with his daughter, Laura Harding, the other day, and we talked about his background. And Jack had a hard-scrabble upbringing. He didn't have much. And so in his family, he helped support his family as a young person to make ends meet. He went to Vanderbilt. I'm thinking, how do you go to Vanderbilt when you have that type of a background? Well, sheer intelligence, hard work, earned scholarships, and he worked his way through college. So he's not a guy with a silver spoon in his mouth whose parents paid for a nice education. He was a person who earned it, and fortunately there were other people who saw that capability and future in him. So he knew what it was like to struggle, but he felt lucky for what he had. He felt blessed. And he wanted to give back, thank goodness. And he gave back richly to this community, to this city, to this county. And we continue to benefit. Like the proverb, we sit in the shade of the trees he planted for decades. But most notably, he was a mighty oak in our community that cast this beneficial shadow over all of us. There's an African proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. So that's what Jack did, but 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50, 60 years ago. But the proverb goes further to say that the next best time to plant a tree is today, which is what we're doing. We're doing that literally, and so we should be challenged by Jack's work ethic to, through our actions, allow others to enjoy the fruits of our labor inspired by Jack Wilson and his well-lived life. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. It was that story a little while ago that I think inspired today, so we really appreciate that. We are going to have a ceremonial ribbon cutting in just a moment. I would ask the family of Jack Wilson to come forward, and we will do that in a moment. At the conclusion of the ribbon cutting ceremony, Kiwanian speakers and family of Jack Wilson are reminded to attend the Kiwanis Club of Marietta luncheon at the Gardens of Kennesaw Mountain. The meeting begins at 12:15, and our program will continue to salute Jack Wilson. Sharon Mason of Cobb Chamber of Commerce will speak on the impact Jack Wilson made on the Cobb County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all for joining us today. Enjoy this beautiful weather. From what the weatherman says, I don't think it's going to last for the next couple of days. Enjoy your day. Thank you for joining us.
JK's in like half the time.
I've been.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, twin sons. That's so lucky. Beautiful lady. Thanks.
I'll be there a little bit, Will. If I get
Yeah. Where are you guys going this time?
Sylvansburg.
Okay. Yeah, right. I'm like three.
Got the Marietta Daily Journal reporter there. Yes. Oh, thank you, Lynn, for your speech.
Oh,
that was really meaningful. I'm candid camera. I'm doing an oral history of this event for Marietta Square.
All right,
and
awesome.
So, but yeah, I really loved your speech. Thank you.
You're kind. You're
Yes.
kind. He's an easy subject.
Yes, exactly, and all those good proverbs too to live by. Thank you. We've got the family.
I'm so excited.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Yes. Let's see. So they have been doing.
When they kept talking, I was like,
His resume.
Every organization I'm with, Jack would make it easy. Get to the point.
Oh, wow, twin sons. That's so lucky. Such fun. So this was the sound effects in the background during the speech were because progress is the constant here in Marietta Square. See, we're having some renovations to our beloved Strand Theater.
Shit, when he get up good, I ain't tell him let you know what we talking about.
Those of you that may not know the name, at the end of today, you will know Jackie Wilson, because that's what today is all about. This is Jack Wilson Day. I wanted to just bring, for those of you that were unable to be at Glover Park, just a quick update. We had a very important ceremony. It was to honor Jack Wilson with a tree, and it was not a tiny sapling tree that most of us put in our backyard. This was a very significant tree to symbolize the significance of Jack Wilson in this community. So, Lisa Lawrence, immediate past president, had a huge part in organizing today, and we thank all of you that were part of it. So Lisa. And we introduce most of our other most important people when we do our guest introduction, but I do want to acknowledge some very important companies that made possible this today, this Jack Wilson Day. We've had a number of sponsors that stepped up to the plate and helped our club financially, since this Jack Wilson Day and the tree was not anticipated when we put our club budget together back in August. And so we are very grateful that they were able to say, yes, we want to participate with Marietta Kiwanis. As you'll hear, you'll hear from our program speaker, the Cobb Chamber of Commerce was one of our financial sponsors. The Marietta Downtown Development Authority, the City of Marietta Department of Parks, Recreation, and Facilities. They were a huge sponsor because without them, we would not have a tree in the middle of Glover Park. So, Rich Buss, thank you. And we also wanted to thank one of our own, Bobby Thorpe, for doing a great job helping us get all the programs printed at no cost. And then, if you were there early enough today, you saw Andy Gaines and his team scramble to make sure everything was set up in Glover Park, and that is no small feat. So, Andy Gaines, Bobby Thorpe, thank you both very much for what you did. Okay, we have a busy program today.
So Esther was a young Jewish woman who became the queen of Persia, but she kept her identity secret. When a plot was uncovered to destroy her people, she had a choice. She could stay silent and stay safe, or she could risk everything by speaking up to the king. Encouraged by her cousin, she realized that she was in her position, quote, for such a time as this. And she bravely intervened, saving her people from destruction. So with that in mind, I'd like you to bow your heads, please. Lord, as we reflect on the life of Jack Wilson and the story of Esther, we're reminded that change is often part of your greater plan. You placed them in their positions for such a time as this. You equipped them with courage and wisdom to act when the moment called for it. And in our own lives, we ask that you help us recognize that we too are placed in our positions, not by accident, but with purpose. Whether in our families, our workplaces, or here in Kiwanis, may we have the wisdom to see where we are called to serve and the courage to step forward in faith. Please bless our time together today. May our conversations be fruitful and our service impactful. In your name we pray. Amen.
Wonderful job, Tim. Thank you. We introduce those that are in the front of the room at the head table and at the president's table. Wanted to again acknowledge Andy Gaines, who will be thanking our speaker, Sharon Mason. Chamber of Commerce will welcome you back as our speaker, and then Lisa Lawrence, immediate past president, who will introduce our speaker. And Laura, would you please stand?
I'm very thrilled to have my family here with me today. My daughter is in Florida and is a teacher, so she couldn't get off today to be here for this special day. I have my son Wilson. Stand up. His wife Alexis, my son Bruce, his wife Hillary. The young lady sitting with them was my dad's caregiver. Her name is Nicole St. Germain. Wonderful, the great care of my dad. And I have my wonderful stepsister, Melanie Winter, with her partner Charles Owen, and Melanie's daughter Megan Sachs.
Now, you have to give us.
No.
He was instrumental in coordinating the actual planting of the tree that happened last week. He was patient with me. He was wonderful, and I cannot thank him enough. So thank you, Rick, for being here. Of 2018. She has more than 23 years of chamber and nonprofit leadership experience, including the Birmingham Regional Chamber, the American Cancer Society, and 6 positions at the Cobb Chamber. She serves on the Regional Business Coalition Executive Committee, the Council for Quality Growth Board of Directors, and was named by Governor Deal to the Georgia Regional Transportation Authority Board in 2018, and continues to serve on this board. She also serves on the Cobb Community Foundation Board, Wellstar Kennestone Hospital Regional Board, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cobb Community Council, KSU President's Community Advisory Council, and Cobb School Superintendent's Business and Community Advisory Committee. She was the Marietta Rotary Foundation Director, 2015 to 2016, is a past president of Friends for the East Cobb Park, and served on Must Ministries Board of Directors from 2014 to 2019. You're very busy, so thank you for being here. Mason is a graduate of Chamber Institute for Organizational Management, Leadership Cobb 2012, Regional Leadership Institute 2014, Honorary Commanders 2015, Leadership Atlanta 2018, and continues to be active on in these associations. Since 2019 and each year since, she has been named to Georgia Trend's Top 100 Most Influential Georgians and Atlanta 500 Most Influential Lists. In 2020 and each year since, she was named to James Magazine's Most Influential list and was recognized in Atlanta Magazine's Women Making a Mark in 2019, named to Live Safe Resources Academy of Women Leaders in 2015, and to Georgia Trend's 8 Notable Women to Watch in Georgia in 2025. She received her bachelor's from Stanford University. She lives in East Cobb with her husband Mike and high school daughter Adeline, and they are active at East Cobb Church. Will you welcome Sharon Mason?
To be with you all on this very special Jack Wilson Day. And I am just thrilled to be with you, but especially to celebrate Jack Wilson. I know he has made such a tremendous impact, and it was an honor to be part of the ceremony this morning, and thank you for your role with the tree. That was tremendous. I know Lisa brought perfect weather, perfect Chamber of Commerce weather today, and just to be part of that special moment for all of us and for Jack is great for us. But it goes beyond that moment. He has left a lasting generational impact of legacy for us. And Lynn Rainey, you did such a wonderful job. The mayor did such a wonderful job with your remarks. And one of the things I especially loved is Lynn's quote for an old proverb that states that best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. Next best time is today. And what Jack Wilson has done has planted the trees for us to be able to benefit from for so many generations to come. And there's going to be generations after us who are talking about some of the programs that he started, some of the things I want to talk about today that have had a lasting impact. So I know we talked about it, and you've seen so many things, whether the Strand, so many nonprofits that he was a key part of. There's a few in relation to the Cobb Chamber that I want to talk about today. And so Jack Wilson served on the Cobb Chamber board for many years. And in 1983, one of the many roles that he held, he was our programs chair at the Cobb Chamber. And 1983 was a very special year, but with Jack and others, this had a whole buildup of years in the making where we knew there was a great need, or he knew there was a great need for some new programs that would really help us cultivate leaders. And so Jack in 1983, he co-founded both Honorary Commanders and Leadership Cobb. Fast forward to 42 years later, we've had over 2,000 business and community leaders go through Leadership Cobb. We have over 1,000 business and community leaders go through Honorary Commanders, plus the many military counterparts that have been part of that program as well. He also co-founded Partners in Education. And so I want to talk a little bit about each one of those programs and what a lasting generational impact that he's made. These are just 42 years ago. 42 years from now, there'll be people that will continue to talk about Leadership Cobb, Honorary Commanders, Partners in Education, the Strand Theater, so many other great programs, initiatives that he's championed and made possible in our community. But I know this is near and dear to our heart. You heard in my bio, I went through Leadership Cobb in 2012, Honorary Commanders in 2015. And I know many of you have been through Leadership Cobb and Honorary Commanders. Could you stand if you've been through one of these programs, or both of these programs? Several have been through both. What an amazing... And as I think about each one of you that have been through this program, and you think about your journey, I know for me personally, it was life-changing to go through both of those programs, and I want to talk a little bit about each one. But for each one of you and the impact that you're making, I'm sure this was a key part of your leadership journey, to be part of those programs. And there's over 2,000 people just this moment that can talk about that with Leadership Cobb, over 1,000 with Honorary Commanders, and the tremendous impact on our base and our national defense system. And so I would be here all day if I talked about the many leaders that have come to this program. I don't want to even start to name, but I'm just so thankful for what these programs have done. So Honorary Commanders, let's start there. That program, if you haven't been through it, every year, this is a year-long program. For both programs, we'll receive hundreds of applications. And for Honorary Commanders, there's only 25 civilian spots to pair with 25 military counterparts. For Leadership Cobb, there were 50 spots, now it's 60. They go through this year-long program. And both have a very active alumni association that play key roles that many of you are part of. And so with Honorary Commanders, we have such a great opportunity to have Dobbins Air Reserve Base right here in our backyard, to have Clay National Guard Center. It's home to the 22nd Air Force Headquarters. I know for Jack Wilson, that's near and dear to his heart with his Air Force service and background. The 94th Airlift Wing, the Georgia National Guard headquarters, portions of the Marine Reserve, the Navy Reserve, that all play such a key role in our national defense system. You may have heard we have a new mission set, the 81st Readiness Division, that is coming to Dobbins with 700 personnel. And then with Lockheed and Georgia Tech Research Institute, all play such a key role in our national defense system. And so the Honorary Commanders program enables us as civilians to be able to experience and get to know those on our base. It helps us to be better partners. It's helped us to grow as advocates for the base. It's helped us to do even more to support the base over the years, and to learn even more about it, how we can support and advocate for our amazing military and our amazing base in our community. And so I know I learned a lot going through the program. I know those of you who went through that as well. And several have chaired these programs. I know Pam is a past chair of Honorary Commanders. Andy's coming up to chair of Leadership Cobb. If you chaired one of these programs, could you please stand? Make sure I don't miss anybody. Let us recognize you. And Brittany and Lisa as well chaired. Yes. Andy's coming up to chair Leadership Cobb. But you think about the role, not only going through the program, but the later coming back and chairing, later coming back and being part of the committees. Each of these enable you to continue to give back for future classes, future generations, to help us cultivate impactful leaders in our community. And each one has done just that. So with the Honorary Commanders, many other things have come from this program. So in addition to the 25 each year and the 25 military counterparts that go through the program each year, we've started new initiatives like Team Dobbins that Pam has also chaired, new initiatives that have helped us continue to elevate that support for the base and continue to grow our mission sets. And we're just so proud of the continued great impact of this program. And you get to do a lot of really fun things. Those who've been through the program can attest to that as well. So that's something that interests you. Every year, this program starts in December. We take applications starting in August time period and then runs throughout the calendar year. Then Leadership Cobb, again started in 1983, co-founded by Jack Wilson, and so many that have been part of this program over the years. And going through that journey, you get to take a deep dive into Cobb County, learn all aspects, whether about our educational system, our public safety, our nonprofits, you name it, so many other, our art, so many others that play such a vital role in our local economy. And you learn how to be a better leader. And you get to know so many in your class, just like an Honorary Commander, so many in your class. The relationship building that comes from those programs has also continued to help us grow leaders, grow businesses, grow impact. And none of that would have been possible without Jack Wilson, without his vision in co-founding these programs. And we know that the alumni have also played a vital role. So Honor Commanders alumni help us with supporting the base. There's so many things that happen that come in and out, deployments, redeployments, ways that our alumni can help us in giving back there. With Leadership Cobb, the alumni also help us plan the programs, give back to the next best class ever that now has hashtags. When I went through in 2012, we did not have hashtags, but there's always fun sayings about each class. And those groups and our alumni get to help us plan the programs, make it a great experience, the best experience, and really help forge bonds and connections with its class members. And then a new recent development with Leadership Cobb, I love this committee, is a Leadership Cobb Alumni Give Back Committee. And that was just formed just a few years ago to help us tackle our community's greatest challenges. And so that shows you the type of leaders that go through this program. That shows you the many that are so passionate, so dedicated, so committed. And so when Jack Wilson was part of co-founding these programs, he had that vision. He knew that we would help grow leaders, that we would be inspiring more and really igniting that influence within our local community. And so I'm just excited to continue seeing what's going to keep happening, because I know that 42 years from now, there's going to be people talking about these programs and the impact that it's also had on them as well. And then partners in education. Let's talk about that. I see Emily Limbeck, who former superintendent, Marietta City Schools. Our partnerships with both school systems, Cobb County School District, Marietta City Schools, are critically important. And this started with Partners in Education in 1983, when Jack Wilson had the vision as our program chair to really rally the business community support for our schools. And I can Hope High School, I have been able to witness personally the amazing role that our schools play, not just in our students, but in our local economy. And we see Marietta City Schools and Cobb County School District winning so many accolades, so many awards because of the great school systems. And part of that is because of the businesses and the work that each one of us play in really investing in our schools and showing that critical support. That partnership is really important. And that's what Partners in Education does. It helps and gives that opportunity for businesses to invest in our local schools. And so from that, more programs have grown. Our Teacher of the Year celebrations, I know Lynn Rainey has a daughter who won Teacher of the Year several years ago, and so many of us have been able to experience that. We have the handprint ceremony on Glover Park every year for the overall Marietta City and overall Cobb County School District Teacher of the Year. And we have really now turned it into a year-long celebration, our Give Our Schools a Hand. And several of you were part of, I know Pam, you delivered several baskets to our teachers. We had a new element that we added, our Teacher of the Year Blitz, to deliver items for their classroom. They get to make a wish list and deliver much needed items, but also give them some gifts to say thank you. And that's just another way that we've been able to rally our business community support for our local schools. And that all started with Jack Wilson and his vision for Partners in Education back in 1983. And so I'm just so thankful to him for igniting this, because we've been able to continue to grow all the leadership programs, our education program support over the years, and we've been able to see the fruits of his vision from them. And so from a leadership program standpoint, we have launched several new leadership programs that are also meeting needs, and Leadership Cobb and Honorary Commanders have been a key start of all of that and an inspiration of all of that as well. So just an example, last fall, we launched Cobb Young Professionals Cultivate program, and it's just a 6-month, more condensed, shorter program for young professionals to help them really get that experience in leadership development, pair with mentors. I know Brittany serves as a mentor, has served as a mentor previously, and this helps us really continue to grow our young professional leadership as well. So it's been an inspiration. Jack Wilson has been an inspiration in what he has done for all of these programs. So that just gives you a glimpse of his lasting generational impact. I'm so thankful for him. Thank you to his amazing family and all that he did, all that we get to benefit from, all that our community gets to benefit from because of him. And so thank you for having me today. It's an honor to celebrate Jack Wilson Day with you and get to continue to see his lasting impact for many, many generations to come. So thank you.
She's got so much information to offer. So who would like to have the first question? Please stand when you ask your question. Dan Byers are chomping at the bit.
Really, first just a comment. Sharon, thank you for representing our community so well. You make our chamber so respected in the Metro Atlanta region, and just thanks for all you do. And I learned a good bit about you, but you certainly know more things than I realized. I did not know more about Partners in Education. I didn't know that that was another one of Jack's creative ideas. So I'm sorry I don't have a question.
All right, Lisa.
So, Tim, not a question, but I would like you to talk a little bit, I guess, about the 5-star
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Yes, we just learned, Cobb Chamber just learned that the U.S. Chamber has once again designated the Cobb Chamber as a 5-star organization, which is the highest level of accreditation you can receive. There are over 7,000 chambers in the country, and less than 2% have the distinguished 5-star accreditation. So it's a big deal for us. And really what it showcases is our amazing team. Alex is part of our team. I know many of you know Alex, as well as our board. Several of you serve on our board of directors, as well as our programs, our volunteers, so many that play a vital role in that. And our programs like Leadership Cobb and Honorary Commanders and Partners in Education are really a national role model that so many other chambers will come to us and say, how do you do this program with your base, with Honorary Commanders? How do you do your Leadership Cobb program or with your school systems? And so I know that many have replicated those programs from learning from us. And so thank you. Many of you have been a key part of these programs, so thank you. This is a recognition for all of us, and this is just our 4th time receiving 5-star accreditation. It is every 5-year process. So our first time receiving it was 2008, and we're just thrilled to receive this again, the 4th consecutive time. And we've been accredited since 1980, but we're thrilled to step to this level of 5-star accreditation once again.
How is the chamber going to be involved with the upcoming sports events that are coming?
Great question, especially Orlando Braves here. Well, we have a tremendous opportunity as a community. We'll be on the global stage. And for us, having the All-Star Game coming to Truist Park, it's not just one game, it's really a week-long or longer celebration, events that attract visitors from across the globe. Brittany can tell you, visitors coming into our community has a tremendous economic impact. And that means they're staying in hotels, and they're spending money at stores, and they're shopping at retail, and really helping us fuel our local economy. And it gives us a tremendous opportunity to showcase Cobb County in a big way and roll out the great Cobb welcome mat that we all do so well. And so we're thrilled to have that coming this summer, and then followed by the World Cup the next summer, and having the Children's Healthcare Atlanta United practice field will play a vital role. KSU will play a vital role. There's so many opportunities for us that are coming down the pipeline. And so we know whether it's at the All-Star Game or the World Cup or the Super Bowl coming, or many other events that attract a global audience, Cobb County will shine. And we'll have that great opportunity to showcase our community and introduce many visitors. And many times that leads to new companies wanting to invest here and growing our economic impact here as well. A great question. Thank you for that.
So first of all, thank you. Thank you. You know, a tree, it's not just the seed, it's the watering. I'd like to say thank you for what you and your team and everyone involved with the chamber does, not only with the seed, but continuing to water. You don't end up with the All-Star Game, the Club World Cup, and the World Cup without investment inside of a community. Congratulations on that. On a personal note, I'd also like to say thank you, because as a kid that didn't know what up or down, left or right was, it wasn't until the mentoree program with the chamber where someone took their time out of their day to invest in me that I learned where up and down was. So thank you for that. So instead of getting a tchotchke or some other thing to hang on a wall, a tchotchke. What we do here at the Marietta and Kiwanis Club is we give a book in your honor. And your book will be going to the Emily Limbeck School for Early Learning, where my son, Jack, will get to read it. So thank you for coming and speaking today.
Okay, we have some club business, but one very important bit of club business is going to be announced by Karen Hallisey. Karen?